Thank you, Dr. Lambe.
Thank you so much.
So, are we on?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, okay. The screen is visible to everybody.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, great, great, great. So, welcome everybody. And, we are talking about data, innovation, intellectual capital for development in the today in the information age. And it is, this event is a unique event in that we are all united today by the speed of travel and the speed in which information is transmitted. So this hybrid event which is happening, so we have so many geographies converging in one place. So all of you have traveled from Nigeria to Cairo for this learning. Okay, I am from Dubai, but right now I'm speaking to you from Bangalore, which is the Silicon Valley of India. And it's a good coincidence that I'm talking to you about information technology. I'm sitting right in the midst of the information technology hub of India, from where so much work is being done all over the world. And then we also have Professor Adebayo with us, who's joining us all the way from the US. We don't know how many time zones he straddles all the time to be able to join all the events possible. So it's my pleasure and honor to be allowed to address all of you. And I will share with you what little I know about the knowledge economy. And I hope I will be able to increase my knowledge by learning all your people's inputs, from what your inputs are, what are the challenges you face, and what are the solutions you have looked for to make the most of the knowledge economy. So we have just got a short 60 minutes here. We'll try to make this as interactive as possible. Please do feel free to interrupt me at any time if you have any questions. Of course, at the end, we will have room for questions also, but in the middle also, if you have any questions, please do feel to, you know, interrupt me. And before we start, if you can just, Dr. Lambe, is it possible to just have a very, very quick introduction of all the people that we have in the room? Is that possible?
Do you want me
You
to do
can,
the introduction or one after the other?
no, maybe they can introduce themselves. So at least we'll know the audience who we are facing. If very quickly they can just,
All right.
if you can just point the camera towards them and we can just have a quick look at who all are in the room. So that will give
Okay,
us a
that's
good
fine.
perspective.
Okay, I wouldn't want to turn my yes, yes. I wouldn't want to turn the
Okay.
screen
Okay,
so much
maybe
because
we can, no
everybody can no,
problem. Maybe,
they can come around if they don't mind. Please, please, if you don't mind. He's a member of faculty, so he would likes to. All right. So you just sit and
Okay, a very good
hi, hi.
morning. Yeah,
Good morning, good
I'm,
morning.
I'm Mohammed Awal Ibrahim, a professor of biochemistry and molecular biology, and also the deputy director of research and innovation, directorate of research and innovation, and at Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, Nigeria. Thank you.
Great, great. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum salam, ahlan wa sahlan.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Fine, fine, sir, fine. All well.
My name is Shivu Yahya from ABU Zaria. I'm the project accountant and also the deputy bather with Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. I think we
Great.
met, whether at Singapore or Seychelles, I think we met there if you can remember.
Yes, 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 definitely.
So you're welcome on board, sir.
Great, great, great. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum salam.
Good morning, Prof.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
My name is Awal Umar, a lecturer with the Department of Economics, ABU Zaria, and associate professor with emphasis in environmental economics and energy issues. Thank
Okay,
you.
great, great. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Cleopatra Okundia from Uniben,
Okay.
University of Benin. Yes, I'm an administrative staff of Uniben.
So you have come home back. Egypt is the home of Cleopatra. So you've come back home.
Yes, I'm home. Thank you.
Okay, great. Great to have you on board. Thank you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning.
My name is Juliet Swanele, Gender-Based Violence Officer, Uniben, University of Benin Kingdom.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum salam.
My name is Fatima Mohammed Musa. I'm working with Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. I'm a librarian, HOD of Masscom Library.
Okay, so you're already managing knowledge.
Yes, sir.
Yes, great, great, great.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning.
My name is Audrey Gambo Wisdom. I'm also a librarian from Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria.
Great. Welcome. Welcome.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Yeah, my name is Emmanuel Balogun, and I'm a professor of biochemistry and molecular biology, also from ABU Zaria, Nigeria. Nice meeting you.
Same here, sir. Same here. Same here.
All right.
Okay, so are we done or anybody else? Okay.
Assalamu alaikum and
Wa
good
alaikum
morning.
salam. Good morning. Good morning.
Yes, Ismail Rimi here with you, Distinguished Professor of Urban Sustainability, Climate Change and Smart Cities, working with the Department of Urban and Regional Planning, ABU Zaria, and also with the Center of Environmental Standards. Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Same here, sir. Same here. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. The introductions are over.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all. So I will now continue with what little I have to share with you. And so we are here to discuss about the knowledge economy. And in this knowledge economy, how do we go about leveraging data, innovation to create intellectual capital for development? How innovative we are in leveraging the data which we have to develop highest quality of intellectual capital for the fastest and most robust form of development. How data power is as the center, and how we use innovation, how we use different techniques to create the maximum amount of intellectual capital is what we are going to discuss today. Now, let us look not very long back, just 40 years back. How has the knowledge economy evolved over the last 40 years? Right? So this is a quick snapshot here, what we see in the 80s, that it was the start of the information age. From industry, we were moving more and more towards information. Okay, the computers were still coming in. Okay, those were the time that a mainframe computer in the late 70s, I'm saying even before the 80s, in the early 70s, we would have mainframe computers which would be fit in whole room. A room would be one computer. And today, what is the data that would be stored in that one room is probably stored in your mobile phone, right? And in the 80s, we saw manufacturing jobs slowly declining, the rise of computers and IT. In the early 90s, the internet started. Okay. The web and e-commerce boom started, global connectivity started. And with that establishment in the 2000s, with the start of the new millennium, okay, the data and innovation era truly started. And we started off with talking about big data. Started talking about advances in artificial intelligence. And a very interesting thing happened in the start of the millennium. The startup culture explosion started. Now, can anyone tell me what do you mean by startup culture explosion? Why was this a game changer? Why was the startup culture a game changer? Any thoughts from anybody on this? Why do you think the startup culture became a game changer? If traditionally we look at anybody wants to start a business, anybody wants to start a large scale business, you needed large capital, you needed large resources. Imagine, like, we see the factory in the picture here, okay, or we see these buildings here. How much investment would go into constructing this factory, in constructing these bridges? The infrastructure investment in the industrial age was very large. With the coming of the data and innovation era, people could bootstrap startup which as little as 5,000 or 10,000 US dollars. And the information value which they created, the data which they created, you would get them results multifold. If we see in the 90s, the earliest Hotmail, anybody still remembers Hotmail, which has now become Outlook? Hotmail was the first proper email which was invented by, incidentally, a person who's also from Bangalore, Sabir Bhatia. Okay, and he moved to US and he invented Hotmail from there, and then Hotmail subsequently got taken over by Microsoft. Okay, so the monetary investment was not very huge, but from basically it was the power of the idea, it was the power of the innovation which they came up with, and that is what generated real value for them, right? So that startup culture was that you did not really require too much money, but you required a good idea, good technology to be able to create something which could create multiple value paradigms. And then finally, from 2020 onwards, we have truly and data and innovation. But now we could say we are in the digital and knowledge age, the gig economy, remote work, smart tech, AI integration, and basically all this is knowledge driven growth. Growth today is driven by knowledge, it's not driven by infrastructure. Of course, infrastructure is a given. We do need infrastructure, because if we don't have the infrastructure of the internet, we don't have the mainframe computers, then all this is not going to work, right? But with that infrastructure given and already set up, knowledge driven growth is become the norm today. Look at it from Nigerian perspective, where you were basically having a economy where you were mainly farming oriented, hunting oriented. You move to industry, and now you are moving toward digital commerce. One of your Ahmadu Bello University is an example, and like that you have so many universities which have come up in Nigeria, which are equipping and empowering people with the correct educational skills to be ready for the new world marketplace. And through all this, you are creating new wealth through knowledge and technology. Now, three main principles of the rise of the knowledge economy. You're shifting from physical resources to knowledge and data. But remember, when I say shifting from physical resources, remember this knowledge and data cannot be safeguarded without physical resources. They say cloud computing, but that cloud computing also means it's not really sitting in the cloud in the air. There is a mainframe server, there is a database somewhere sitting. So that physical resources is always required. We are not saying that we are not saying move from physical resources to, we are saying shift. So physical resources are required. You cannot eliminate them completely. But earlier, what used to happen that the physical resources used to drive competitiveness. But now ideas and intellect drive competitiveness. Earlier, if somebody had land, somebody had a big factory, somebody had trucks, then that person would be competitive. Now, the person who has ideas, the person who has intellect, the person who has know-how is the person who is powerful. When I say person, that does not only mean individuals, artificial person, also companies, organizations, governments. So all these brings us to the conclusion that data today is the real gold. Data is the new gold. And the better you are at data mining, the more prosperous you are going to become. Right? That's so today what happens? Why do you have WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram all available for free? It's not available. Are all this available for free? Please tell me. Any inputs from the audience? WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, are all these for free?
No.
Yes, many people take LinkedIn premium membership and they pay, but you don't need to. You can use it for free also, right? You don't have to pay any money. So who's somebody saying no? Why is it not free?
Anybody can speak. Then you'll mute this one. You can speak.
Yeah, I couldn't hear that. But why it is not free is basically you are sharing anytime you log into the digital domain with your profile, you are sharing your personal data there. The right to use Facebook, WhatsApp is at the cost of sharing your data with them. And how they will use that data, you don't know. Right? So everything comes at a cost. So when you are using all these social media platforms and you are not paying anything in cash, you are actually paying them by sharing your data with them. So be very careful what you give out there. Now, this is the rise of the knowledge economy. What are the main pillars of the knowledge economy? 4 main pillars of the knowledge economy we have. It's a knowledge economy, right? So the knowledge economy will be driven by a skilled and educated population. If you have a country where majority of the people are doing hard labor, etc., then there is very little hope for the knowledge economy to improve exponentially in that country. Once you have a skilled and educated population, they will be equipped to come up with innovations. And once they come up with innovations, you will have innovation systems, you will have research and development systems. And the more you do research and development, the more you create more value, create more knowledge. That's how the knowledge economy is going to grow. It is not possible. We have 2 libraries in the room. You can know from them how difficult it is to arrange a library with physical books and how much space it takes up. Now, with this growth of the knowledge economy, imagine if we were still dealing with physical books, imagine the space, the real estate, the infrastructure that will require to store all those books. Now, instead of that, we need to have a digital and ICT infrastructure. Today, technology has evolved so well that in a small flash drive, I can store the entire information which goes into an entire library building. When all these things are in place, the skilled and education population, innovation systems, research and development, digital and information technology infrastructure, all this will go into chaos if you do not have strong institutions and governance. because governance is what ensures that all these things is done ethically and people don't steal each other's data and information. Right? Now, what are we today? Today, we are all here to, when we say pillars of the knowledge economy, in every nation wants to bring its own knowledge economy. And what is the role of data in national competitiveness? Countries are competing against each other. The days of world domination by conquest are things of the past. The world today will not be conquered by armies. The world will be conquered by the one who controls the data. Right? So, if you have proper data and you to make your nation competitive, it will, if you have proper data, it will help you in evidence-based policy making. You will have proper data, you will have proper information. You will, based on that evidence-based data, not on estimate-based data. Evidence-based data, you will be able to make policy. You will be able to make proper policies. You will be able to use AI to have predictive insights. Right? Cloud, broadband, and cybersecurity will become enablers over here. Right? Okay? Clear? If anybody has any doubts, please feel free to interrupt. Now, in all this, innovation is the most important economic catalyst. What ideas you come up with which will help you launch a rocket to the moon? So what are the things that you need for innovation? You need proper research and development. So you need investment in research and development and diversification. You need more and more startups. Everything the government cannot do. Let the people get involved. And like we said, today's startups don't require a big monetary investment. Okay. Yesterday, as I was walking on the street here in Bangalore, there was one young man who came in, and I happened to be outside a hospital. And he gave me a small pamphlet which says, we are providing online healthcare. And this is our new startup. If you need, so he has strategically positioned himself outside the hospital. A young, enthusiastic man, maybe 21, 22 years old. And then I started talking to him and he said, what? I said, what is your role in this startup? He said, sir, I am the founder. Now that founder who has envisaged the entire concept of this online healthcare, everything, he himself is going because he doesn't have money. So he himself he is the technology developer, everything, and he's also the marketing person. He's going around standing outside hospital handing out pamphlets to people, right? So this is the age of this is the kind of startups, this is the kind of entrepreneurship which is happening today, that people don't need money, they just need drive, they need a good idea, and they need the knowledge of how to use technologies well. And very important three aspects which are the fulcrum of innovation. Academia, which you are from academia, from a university. So the academia, the industry, and the government have to collaborate. You as academia, if you want to know what is relevant for the workplace, you need to have, what do you need to have? What do you need to have? You need to know what the industry needs. You need to have research and development systems which knows, if you are going to teach things to people which were required by the industry 30 years back, the people who come out of university are not going to be ready for the job market. You need to know from the government how best the government wants to run the country. And you yourself, based on the inputs which you get from industry, you need to filter it and tell the government, sir, we need this type of laws, we need this type of regulations, these type of protections, right? So the connect between academia, industry, and government is very, very important. And remember, today you as the people who are running the most reputed higher educational institutions in Nigeria are the factory from which the future startups, the future entrepreneurs, the future researchers and developers The future innovators are going to come. So you need to be very, very aligned to how the world around you is changing. You need to adapt your curriculum to the latest trends and make sure that when your graduates come out of your institution, they are ready for the job market. You are, in many ways, the first generators of intellectual capital in your country. The human, see, an intellectual capital, when we say intellectual capital, we say, okay, intellectual capital is here. Okay, it's in my mind. But I would like to present to you intellectual capital in three ways: as the human capital, as the structural capital, and the relational capital. Today, intellectual capital is not just here. So what is here? The human capital is my skills, my creativity, my leadership, my motivation. You could go on. This is the human capital. Now, this human capital needs to be supported by structural capital, systems, okay, intellectual property protection, laws. Because if I create new knowledge and anybody is free to use it, then what's the use? I have to protect my intellectual property. Okay. So that structure has to be there. There have to be processes that how this information will be processed. If there are no systems for that, then it's all going to go waste. Right? Typically, I will tell the two librarians, you may have 1,000,000 books in your library, but every library has a categorization system, right? Where you will be able to retrieve a book when you want it. If you are just going to dump it in one corner, then you have to go to 1,000,000 books through, you have to sieve through 1,000,000 books to find that one book which you are looking for. So the structuring of the intellectual capital is very, very important. And all this will not happen without a trusted framework. So a relational capital is very important. Trusts and partnerships have to be built. And for building this trust and partnership, there have to be documents, there have to be information sharing norms, there has to be a remuneration for sharing information. Okay, so remuneration could be in different ways. I give you information and you give me information, or I give you information and you give me money, or I give you information and you give me something else. So that sort of thing is that is what that relational capital is going to be, right? Today, one example is of this trust and partnership is WhatsApp always tells you that whatever you share on this WhatsApp chat is end-to-end encrypted. So that builds a trust that nobody else is looking in to what you are sharing on WhatsApp. Right? Right? Okay, going on. Ultimately, we're talking about nation building, and we talked about the four pillars of the knowledge economy, which is the skill population, innovation, digital infrastructure, and strong institutions. How do we leverage this to build national competition, national competitiveness? As a country, I want to compete against other countries. Now, compete is not in a bad way, compete is in a good way. Because I will come up with technology which they can help them, which I can help them with. They will come up with technology which they can help me with. Okay. So for this national competitives, we need knowledge industries which lead growth. We need digital skills and IT protection. And some of the countries which will make this successful is one of the countries which I come from: UAE, Singapore, Sweden, South Korea. We have a time constraint now, otherwise we would have gone more and more into examples for this. I will share with you a few examples from the UAE as we go along. You need to transform your institutions. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is something very, very important you need to focus on. How you will go about transforming your institutions. Because today, from the learnings in these 3 days, which you will have in Cairo, 3 days of training in this beautiful conference room, and another 3 days you're going to learn while you are going to roam the streets of Cairo, explore the ancient pyramids and so many other ancient infrastructure, and some of one of the world's oldest universities, Al Azhar, is in there in Cairo. If you get an opportunity to go there, right? So you will be able to observe that Cairo also to a certain extent is embracing in a great way new technology. Many global outsourcing centers are based in Cairo. So from all these learnings, I would like you to focus on how you are going to transform your institutions, how you are going to set up knowledge management systems, how you will go for digital transformation. Remember, digital transformation does not mean simply computerizing what you do manually. That is not digital transformation. If you do that, you will be automating your inefficiencies. Digital transformation involves complete re-engineering of the way you do things, how you will responsibly use AI, and how you will build a learning organization and have open collaboration. Now, open collaboration does not mean a free for all. That open collaboration means collaboration with the necessary checks and balances, so the authorized people only can see what is meant for them to see. Right? Now, I will take just a 2-minute pause here, and I want you to write down a few key points as to what you would do based on what we have covered so far, what you would do. And at the end of the talk, then you can share this with me, that what you would do to transform your institutions in a very, what first comes to mind to you, how you will transform your institution to make it a resource for nation building and as a resource for contribution to the global economic growth. 120 seconds, ladies and gentlemen.
Just give him a moment. Let's just give him a moment. I'm sure he'll be back shortly.
He's giving us 2 minutes to
reflect.
think of something.
Okay.
Here I have not gone anywhere.
All
I
right.
just
Okay.
put up the screen so that you're not distracted by looking at me and you can concentrate on your ideas. But I think we are through with the 120 seconds. So I think I will go on. I think people can, if anybody wants to share anything, please go ahead. Otherwise, then in the end, we will discuss this, what all you have written. If anything, anybody wants to really talk, say something, then please go ahead.
Okay. So they said at the end of your conversation, there will be comments.
Okay. Fair enough. I will go on then. I will go on. Okay. So what is a learning organization? What do you mean by a learning organization? In the earlier slide, we said we need to create learning organizations and have open collaboration. So what is a learning organization? How does our organization learn? One of my clients, which is there, which is actually owned by the royal family of the Sharjah Emirate in the UAE, and they are very, very progressive. They, every month, every staff has to attend at least 3 training programs, and they conduct all their trainings in-house. Okay, of course, they get external speakers, and we also get an opportunity to go there. So in one of my sessions there, I asked them, gentlemen, what is a learning organization? And they said, oh, our company is a learning organization because they send us for all possible trainings. I said, that is, you are learning. How is the organization learning? A learning organization is one that is, remember this, and this is going to be very, very important for you in shaping the future of making your organization is an organization that educates people. It is all the more important for your organization to become a learning organization, because it should learn the new techniques, the new skills, so it is able to imbibe that to the next generation of Nigerians, right? So a learning organization is an organization skilled at what? Creating, acquiring, and transferring knowledge. So you create, acquire, and transfer knowledge. And after doing that, after getting that knowledge, after transferring that knowledge, you don't just sit there. You modify your behavior to reflect new knowledge and insights. Because education for education's sake has no meaning. If you don't implement what you learn, then what is the point of learning? Right? You need to have education with a purpose, that what you teach your students and what information you imbibe, that should be implemented. Okay? And this definition becomes a simple truth that new ideas are essential if learning is to take place. Oh, 30 years back, my grandfather said this is true. Yes, that may be true. We are not saying that is false. But then this is the new age, new ideas. How that learning is to be adapted now, we need to see. Right? Okay. And we all know knowledge is power. So to make a power, to have that power, we need to create a learning organization. Install a system to retrieve, record and retrieve individual staff members' knowledge for the benefit of the organization. And you have to encourage staff to share knowledge. Let me give you two examples, one from the UAE and one internationally, of how this knowledge economy has worked. One of the largest logistics services providers globally today is DP World. They are operating ports and so many logistics facilities all over the world. DP World commenced in the 70s as DP is Dubai Ports World. DP World commenced in the 70s as Dubai Ports and Customs. It was a government department charged with managing one port which was in Dubai, which was Port Rashid. The ruler of that time, Sheikh Rashid Al Maktoum, had a vision to create the Jebel Ali Free Zone. And then a 5 times bigger port than Port Rashid was created in Jebel Ali. Okay, that became Jebel Ali Ports. Okay, and at that time, the company hired external companies to come and help them set up the port, because they didn't know the best techniques of setting up the port. So they hired people, but they did not remain dependent on those hired people. What they did? What did they do? They imbibed that knowledge. They created new knowledge, and then they separated the customs and the ports, and the entire ports became, first it became Dubai Ports, and then once they started providing those services to outside, to other countries, they became DP World. So they learned how to make ports from external agencies, but they did not remain dependent on them for the lifetime. They took that knowledge, imbibed it, built their own knowledge. Today they are into ports and terminals, logistics, economic zone, marine services, and so much more. So from a place where Dubai was an importer of knowledge, it has now become an exporter of knowledge. From a time when Dubai was paying people for services of teaching them how to run a port, it now earns money by teaching others how to run ports. One very beautiful example. Another example I will give you from the Ritz-Carlton Hotel. And they call themselves experts in experience. They don't say experts in hospitality or anything. They call themselves experts in experience. That we are giving you the best experience which is possible in the world. I'll give you one example of the Ritz-Carlton Hotel. That how advanced their learning management system is. That if you as a customer go into any one hotel, they will save all your details and retrieve it. That next time you go there, you'll be welcomed as if they know you for centuries, because all your details from the previous visit will be communicated to all the Ritz-Carlton hotels over the world. Okay, so it's very important. It's very important that this knowledge management should be managed. So I'll give you an example. A person checks into the Ritz-Carlton hotel in Paris, and the local manager there, the local housekeeping staff there, they came to know that what are the person's likes and dislikes. Okay, maybe the person is a bit eccentric, and there are certain this likes, and they want only this thing. This is the way the person wants the eggs. This is the way the person wants the bath water. This is the way the person wants the towels to be arranged. All these things they look at. The person does not drink alcohol, and it opens the mini fridge and says, "Why is the alcohol inside?" So it says, "No, sir, you don't need to drink it. No, I remove it. I don't even want to see it." And next time, that same customer, maybe after 6 months, goes to the Ritz-Carlton in Doha. And the moment the person lands at the airport, is welcomed with his fabulous bouquet of flowers. He reaches the hotel. It's just time for breakfast, and the breakfast exactly the way he wants it is served. He opens the mini fridge to take a glass of water, and he sees there's no alcohol there. How was this happened? How did the information get transmitted from Paris to Doha? Okay, normally what would have happened is, if this person came to the same hotel and that same staff was there and they happened to remember this after 6 months, they would be able to give that service.
Yeah.
Right? But this was made possible because the staff in the Paris hotel were motivated to share the information, and they were even rewarded for sharing information, so that the next experience could be made even better for the customer. This is what a learning organization is. The information which was there with the hotel manager of the Paris hotel, the housekeeping staff of the Paris hotel, the airport pickup and drop person of that hotel, they communicated everything, saved it in a database, and the moment that person's name was logged in, all the respective department says, this is what you need to take care of for this particular person, right? Simple thing, like, see, what we see, simple thing is that if you're ordering, let's say, a burger or a pizza, the moment you dial from that particular number, the person who's receiving your call will be able to see your last 20 orders. They will know what is your location. So this is what we talked about, customer relationship management. Customer relationship management happens only if you're able to capture the customer's data in a proper and systematic way. Going on, all these things we are doing, we are gathering data, we are enriching ourselves, we are creating a learning organization. When we do all this, let's look back at the traditional way, the industrial age. That time, what were our assets? So let's go back to the agricultural age, which still, now that agricultural age is not gone away. We still need agriculture, otherwise we'll not have food to eat, right? But typically, if you have a farmer and he's growing rice, what does he need? He needs a security outside his granary so that nobody will steal the grain. Okay? He needs proper measures against infestation so that pests will not come and infest that grain. Right? Okay, suppose there's a factory. You need proper measures to make sure that, yes, there is no water seepage which will come and spoil the machinery. There are no thieves who will come and steal the machinery or the equipment or the goods which are produced. Right? These are the safeguards which you have for a traditional business. Now, with a data-driven business, the security becomes even more important. As the water seepage can damage your factory's machinery, as pests can infect and spoil the crops, as thieves can come and steal the rice you have grown or steal the goods which you have done, that same thing can happen in a digital environment. There will be viruses which come and infect your software. There will be people who will come and lock your software and then ask you for ransom, that give me this ransom, only then I will release your data. It's the data age, so people will do phishing, trying to steal your data from you. Inside the threads, there will be people in your organization who want to steal that data. Okay, so remember, cyber risk is a national and institutional risk, right? If the country's data is compromised, the nation can collapse. If an institution's data is compromised, an institution can collapse. So in this, you need a framework where you will have zero trust. I don't trust anybody. This is what system is there. It has to be a zero trust and security by design. If you are trusted, prove your trust to the credentials which I have given you. There is no blind trust. All trust is validated trust through a proper credentials, which could be passwords, biometrics, read the eyes, read the fingerprints. So this cyber security is very, very important because you're creating wealth, right? So when you create wealth, you need to have security guards to make sure that nobody will steal that wealth from you, right? Going on, things need to be done in an ethical manner, right? We cannot just steal things from each other. Same way, in a data age, there has to be transparency and accountability. Who created the data? Who used the data? Who should be allowed to use the data? You're creating AI. Now, when I'm creating AI, I am the programmer. I can teach the AI what I want it to do, right? So that the AI has to be fairness and biased. It has to be fair AI and bias free. Okay. And overall, all this what we are doing is for what purpose? We are doing it to improve the lives of humans. So the three core pillars of digital ethics are transparency and accountability, fairness and bias-free AI, and the safeguarding of human rights, along with giving humans autonomy to work the way they want. Of course, autonomy does not mean a free for all. That also is within the framework of regulations, right? For this, there are so many privacy laws and regulations which we have worldwide. We have the GDPR, we have the NDPA 2003, we have so many global centers. Okay. I don't need to read all this. These are all these things. Even cross-border government data governance is very important. That from country to country, the data governance needs to be in place, right? It should not be that one country has such data governance rules which compromise the other country's data governance rules, right? There are certain times we'll see that we go and see certain videos on YouTube. You can see them only in certain countries. You can't see them in other countries because maybe they are not adhering to those particular countries' data governance rules. And a very, very important point is to have responsible data governance. Because if the policeman is not responsible, then the thieves will run large, right? So there has to be very crystal clear clarity on who owns the data. There is two things: data ownership and data stewardship. So who's the owner of the data and who's the guardian of the data? There should be very good clarity in that. The guardian may not be the owner, he may be only guardian, right? He doesn't have the right to do things with the data what he wants. He's only a guardian. He has to ensure that only the owner can do what he wants. Now, if the owner has given him rights as a steward, as a power of attorney holder, I give you right to do this with the data, then that steward has to do only what he has been commissioned to do. He should not exceed his brief. Okay. You have to, and all this you have to improve the data quality, improve the data lifecycle management, and regularly have an ethical oversight, because in this digital age, ethics tend to get compromised. So have a proper digital oversight, have proper audits, and ensure that you have responsible data governance. The last point is very important for you as a university. You will have students, you tell students, write a research paper and give me. You will never know if ChatGPT has written that research paper rather than the student. Right? Today, expert professors have a good eye and they are able to find that, okay, this is done from ChatGPT. And they will give the student a big 0, right?
Yes.
So, but this is very important. You need to reskill your faculty that they should be able to detect digital copying and students using ChatGPT. And reskilling is one thing. If students have ChatGPT, you need to be, for every disease, there is a vaccine. For every sickness, for every poison, there is an antidote. So for today, ChatGPT is a very, very good tool for research, but it has to be used responsibly. It does not have to be used by students for copying, right? So you need to have digital tools in your university to be able to detect digital copying and to be able to detect when they have used ChatGPT, right? Okay, the key challenges which you will face is the digital divide, privacy and security risks, automation and workflows, displacement, and resistance to change. This is the challenge which you have to overcome. Okay, and to overcome all these key challenges and to achieve what you want, this is how you will make it happen. Invest in education and digital skills, strengthen your legal and governance frameworks, promote inclusive and ethical innovation. It's very important for you to reskill for the age of AI. All of you have to reskill with the age of AI. For a start, teach all to use ChatGPT effectively and ethically. That is the least that you can do. Teach everybody to use ChatGPT effectively and ethically. At least that is a start. What are the right prompts to use? Where you should use ChatGPT, where you should not use ChatGPT. Okay, I can use ChatGPT for research, but I cannot use ChatGPT to write my paper for me, right? Going on, you have to, and how to make it happen and how you will use policy to drive it. You have to use knowledge as an engine of development. You have to have ethical, secure digital ecosystems and create trust as the foundation of growth. Okay. A robust change management strategy is essential. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. So a robust change management strategy is, see, we said resistance to change is a very, very important factor which may cause your digitization strategy to fail. So to make sure that the resistance to change is not there, you need to have a robust change management strategy, and you need your flock or everybody, even at the lowest level, you need them to follow the, when I say follow you, means not me or you as an individual. I mean you as an organization. So you need every member of the organization to follow the organization's goals with full commitment. And to make that happen, your change management strategy should include those people, the line soldiers, the foot soldiers. You should include them in developing your change management strategy. Then when they are involved in bringing that strategy, if they're involved in making the future policy for growth, they will own it and they will help it succeed. Remember, today digitization for you is the true emancipation. People should not think I am going to lose my job. Digitization, AI, the knowledge economy is going to uplift you. It's going to take you away from the drudgery of manual labor, and it will improve the quality of your life. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. If you have any questions, I am available. And if you have any questions later, if you think about it later, you can always ask me on ask@navigate.ae.
Thank you very much. Please, can we give Huzaifa Nakhoda a round of applause? I'm sure there are questions because it's always a delight to listen to him. So, distinguished participants, can I see our hands? Those that may have questions or comments. Okay, Prof is one, two. Any other person? Okay, maybe as the time goes on. Please let me crave the indulgence to come here. So we have two persons with questions for now. They will come through, you can see them, and then we'll ask their questions.
Yes, yes.
Yes, thank you, Huzaifa, for that nice talk. We learned a lot. So, in your last comment about creating a change within the management or in the institution, and you made reference to uh, influencing the foot soldiers to embrace the change. So, I think in some cases, the foot soldiers may not really be the problem. Sometimes even the senior people in some management within the institution may be the problem. So how do we handle such people?
You tell me. You are closer to them. What is in your mind?
Well, it's difficult sometimes because the the older and more experienced people seems to resist change more than the younger ones. So in that case, it becomes very difficult. Yeah.
Why? Now, the reason what you have to the answer to your questions lies in finding out why they are resisting the change. Can you tell me why they resist the change?
Yeah, maybe sometimes they may not be skilled in we're talking about data management, and things like that.
True.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Then what
Hmm.
else?
Uh, that is what I can think about.
You have the answer already, right? That they know that they are not skilled. And second thing, they are in their comfort zone.
Okay.
Okay. They don't want to get out of the. I'm used to doing this. I'm used to somebody bringing a pile of papers to me for signature, and I can show how much work I have by that whole pile lying over there. Correct?
That's true. Yeah.
Right? And I have been there, done that. And you know what is the third factor? They believe, first of all, they know that I am lacking in the skills.
Hmm.
So if this comes, I don't have the time or the energy to learn something new. I have 5 years more for retirement. Let me make
Hmm.
the let me make my money from this, right? So they feel maybe if this happens, I will lose my job. That is a
I
very
see.
big fear. So you need to, and the fourth thing is the most difficult because one thing which you have to remember in a manual environment, what happens? Fraud is possible, manipulation possible. In a digital environment, that fraud and manipulation becomes more difficult, right?
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
if it is the fourth case, then that fellow is a thief. You have to kick him out. Okay, you don't have to try to change him, right? You don't have to try to. You just have to kick him out and finish it off. Correct? But the first three things, what you can do is you can change that by see ultimately it is a matter of personal survival, right? I don't care if the organization is going to improve or not improve. If I am going to earn less, why should I care about the organization improving?
Hmm.
I'm going to look out for myself first, correct?
Yeah.
So you need to tell everybody to win them over. Everybody wants to know what's in it for me. What's in it for me? You need to convince that person that what is in it for that person.
Hmm.
Yes, sir, embrace this change. You will not have this pile of files. You can just digitally sign. You don't need to come to office every day. You can work from home. The 2 hours which you spend in commute will be saved, right?
Yeah.
Your assistant is spending 5 hours making this report that you will get it in 5 seconds by just asking the system. And then you have to make them understand that it's really not difficult to learn. These are some of the ways that you can, and this rule applies not only at senior level, at junior level, both the levels it is same. Okay. Only thing that what happens is senior level, the people are more uptight. I told you no. We have been doing this for so many years. How do you think I brought this university to this stage? Was it through Excel and PowerPoint? We used to go to the library, open 5 books, research, see this page, put this bookmark here, here, here. Then we have built up this university. All your newfangled ideas are not going to work here. Knowledge is to be taken from books, not from screens. Right?
Yeah.
So you need to first make them fall in love with this. That yes, this is something which will help you. And when they see what is in it for them, then they will openly welcome it. Right?
Thank you.
Okay.
Good.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Anything else?
All right. Another question coming through.
Yes.
Yes,
Thank you so
sir.
much, Huzaifa, for the
Thank you. Thank
presentation.
you.
Yeah, I think I want to just talk about something fundamentally, in my opinion, that you have said, the education for education's sake. Now,
Yes.
that is a fundamental, in my opinion, based on your presentation, that is one of the fundamental things that or rather, that I think will affect, especially Nigerian young population, from embracing or moving towards knowledge economy. The reason is because the present crop of the present generation of most Nigerian youth are more interested in education for education's sake and not education for knowledge sake. So that is a fundamental issue that I think if we proceed that way, we are less likely to benefit from the knowledge economic drive going on. So, okay, you are muted.
Yeah. Just to interrupt you. See, when you say education for education's sake and education for knowledge sake, it is both the same thing.
Okay.
It's the
Yeah.
same thing. Means
Yeah.
I am learning. Why? Because I want to know things. I want to know things. That's why I'm learning. I don't
Yes.
want to learn because I want to know things. I want to
Okay.
learn because I want to know things and I want to use that knowledge in the actual workplace.
Okay. Let me clarify. I mean education for certificate sake. Does that clarify?
Yes. See,
Okay.
education for certificate sake is even worse. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. That is even worse.
So
I'm not even talking about that. I am talking about it, that somebody, oh, I like to know things. Okay. I want to know. There are so many, especially if you see in India. In India, it is very prevalent. The person will do a master's in literature, history, and economics. Now, why do you need to do three masters?
yes.
Yeah. So he likes
Yes.
to have so many certificates on the wall, and he likes to know. You sit with him, he is very good conversation. He talk about practically every subject. But how are you using this history? How are you using this economics? How are you using literature in your daily life?
Zero.
So what's the use? The 5 years, with that knowledge, how are you contributing to the economy? That is very important.
Yeah. So
Correct?
I think that still comes back to what I said, that the passion for the current generation to explore the knowledge and apply it in solving uh, in solving problems or in creating innovation is less. The passion tends to be like what you said, just about I just want to have three masters, I want to have a PhD, I want to have this, and that's all. So,
But what will I get after that?
sorry?
What will I get after that? After I do all
Yes,
that, what will I get?
yes, that is the challenge. I'm just informing you that
Yes.
most of them have that interest rather than what they get. So
Because
I
what
don't know
happens?
whether you have experience from other clients based on your experience, and how can this, because I think it needs some radical mind shift. How can this be navigated if there is any experience from another client? Thank you.
I'll tell you. See, today what happens is, I don't know how it works in Nigeria, but the majority of the universities which I have seen in India, I have seen in UAE, I have seen in the USA, okay, in UK, what is the KPI of those universities? Those KPI of those universities is, if I have 100 people graduating out of our university, I want all the 100 of them to get jobs or to have a startup. I want them to be proactively occupied, right? If they are not able to find, if those graduates of those universities are not able to find gainful employment, next year people are not going to people will not come and join that university, right? So that is why your universities used to become centers for creating employability, creating more and more two things. They have to be creators, hubs for creation of employability, and more importantly, hubs for creators of entrepreneurship. If they do this, they will succeed in the long term. But if you're going to become a university only for education's sake, in the long term, that institution will start to decline.
Thank you very much. And I think that's a very good place to anchor. Okay, we have one more question coming through. The conference governor.
Good day, Prof.
Yes, Governor.
Mine actually have to, it's going actually to reflect on the pillars that you have listed earlier and then highlighted. And to be more specific on the strong institutions and the governance which you are highlighted, I understand that that is where the Nigeria's problem is as a developing economy. When it comes to the strong institutions, strong governance, we're all actually deficient in that to achieve an efficient and effective knowledge economy. I am saying this because you asked also a question that all of us should go through, that what will you do to transform your institution? Yes. That question is linked to the strong institutions that you highlighted earlier and the strong governance. In Nigeria, we have a lot of issues that needs those two things that you mentioned. But unfortunately, we are having the other side of it, the other side of the story, weak institutions in terms of political, social, and economic institutions. And at the same time, even the governance, both in terms of the legislative, executive, and then judicial aspects. So for achieving that, it's actually going to be, to some extent, not in a closer look. Let me give you about 5 major points which actually I feel we should take home. In my understanding, Nigeria's economy is an economy that is dominated by the informal sector. That is the need for the strong institutions which you highlighted and the strong governance that you highlighted, which actually will help in reducing that. And the second issue is that of the market distortion, and inequality. There has been a lot of distortion in terms of how even the market itself operates. And then we also have the digital divide. We have the rural and urban areas. Issue of power supply and what have you, this actually have resulted into internet access limitations and at the same time, the digital literacy itself. Again, another factor which I think we should also take note of is the institutional governance. In terms, the institutional governance was the second side of the highlighted areas that you mentioned. That's on the strong institutions, strong governance. But that is where the fundamental problem, which ordinarily, if it is addressed, it will also yield a fruitful result to others. Like, for instance, we have high rate of corruptions, which had been a long history in Nigeria. Poor policy implementation. We have a fantastic policy. But the question is how, when, where, and what to do to arrive at the exact goal. Because the functional relations have not been factoring in the issue of the corruption that we said. So these issues, to my understanding, are the main issues which actually we are having in Nigeria for the achievement of the fourth pillar, because all the remaining pillars, you have listed about 4, But my understanding is that all the remaining ones on top, you will have make it. Take the first, the last point to be the first point. That is the strong institutions and strong governance to be the first if you are to take Nigeria's experience, because that is what heals the remaining ones. I just want to maybe because the strong governance and strong institution required reward and penalties in terms of one, businesses, individuals, and even the government itself, because the governance, what the local, state, and then the federal government. So we have these issues that actually we should, that Nigeria's economy is experiencing. Because so far so good, what you have actually given us is a generic issues, but I am being specific here to give another narrative by taking the specific size of the Nigerian economy. Thank you very much, sir. I rest my case.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments, Governor. And I think this is exactly what we are talking about. And this is a live example of implementing the knowledge which we have gained. So I'm very happy with your comments, Governor, that, and true to your designation as the designated conference governor, you have very well summarized this. And this is the lesson which I would advise all of you to take. Let's see, today I am sitting remotely from Nigeria, right? But what I have done is I cannot wave a magic wand or give you a magic formula, which will solve all your problems. But I have given you a framework which works internationally. Now you have very beautifully translated that what are the challenges you are going to face in Nigeria to achieve this. And this is the first step of the journey for improvement. Identifying what are the problems which I need to correct.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Drawing a map is very easy. That I want to get here from point A to point B. This is the map. But what are the obstacles which are lying on that map? And if you have a proper satellite navigation system which can identify the obstacles, the traffic which lying on the way, otherwise that just drawing a map will not be enough. Just drawing a route will not be enough. So you have today identified very successfully that what these obstacles are. And I'm sure having identified them, you will be very well qualified to find the solutions for that also.
Thank you very much.
And if you need our help in finding precise solutions, then Professor Adebayo is always there. Please reach out to us and we'll be happy to, beyond training, we'll happy to hold your hands in finding the solution.
Thank you very much.
And that's a good place to end. Please, can we give our research person a big round of applause?
Before we conclude, I would just like to say this.
All right.
I would like to just conclude I would like to say this, that this event is being organized under the auspices of the Association of Chartered Certified System Accountants. And this success all is based on having a systematic infrastructure. So if you know why are we talking of system accountants? Because you have to account everything systematically. You have to set up a system for accounting all the economic transactions in a proper way that you can take informed decisions. So this is the right platform. And from this, I wish you all the best in setting up robust digital systems, AI systems for your organization, which will help you to be the knowledge generators of the Nigeria of the future. Thank you. Thank you all.
Please, one more time, a round of applause. The applause is quite resounding here. Thank you very much. Always a delight to listen to you. We appreciate your presence. I can tell you for free, it's coming back to us again tomorrow for another presentation. So we look forward to the presentation for tomorrow. Thank you very much. And do have a beautiful day ahead.
Same time, same place.
Same time, same place. Thank you so much. All right. So distinguished participants, that's another very good place to anchor that particular one. As we move on straight on to the presentation afterwards. Let me just say a couple of things. The next presentation is one of those highlights of our global conferences. It comes with some practical demonstration. So I think this is a good time for us to bring out our devices, iPads, laptops, and the rest of them, because as we go into the next paper, we'll have some hands-on demonstration, which is part and parcel of what ACCSA and CIB does. So straight on, before the coffee break is served, and then we go for that, I have the pleasure of bringing on board for the presentation on artificial intelligence and automation in financial management and public administration. Artificial intelligence and automation in financial management and public administration. And to bring us this paper is no other person than somebody I can safely describe as the chief host of this particular event. Is our global representative and the training director based right there in Pennsylvania, United States. Sorry, Baton Rouge, I beg your pardon. Louisiana, sorry. Prof moves around a lot. So the international president is in Pennsylvania, but he is based in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. But just before I bring Prof on board, and I'm sure we'll hear so much from him, please permit me to quickly take his citation. Of course, it's in person of Professor Paul Adejola, the training director, ACCSA Global, and also the proprietor of White Knight Academy back in Nigeria. So born in Gusau, Zamfara State, Nigeria, Professor Paul Adejola is a distinguished academic and professional with multidisciplinary expertise spanning accounting, business finance, forensics, and information technology. He holds a visiting professorship at both Annan University in Paul, in Plateau State, Jos, and Nasarawa State University, Kefi, Nigeria. He has been pivotal in shaping the academic and professional landscape in these fields through his extensive research, teaching, and consultancy work. In terms of professional qualification and fellowships, Professor Adejola is a highly regarded fellow of several esteemed professional bodies, including the Association of National Accountants of Nigeria. And I dare say, please, you can cross-check this. If you are looking at the success story of Annan in Nigeria, his name is not one of those that you find at the back. Also, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, ICANN, the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria, CITN, the Institute of Chartered Economists of Nigeria, the Association of Chartered Certified System Accountants, ACCSA Global USA, the Certified Institute of Business Entrepreneurs, CIB USA, Association of Forensic and Investigative Auditors, AFIA Canada, and additionally is also a very active member of the American Accounting Association. In terms of academic achievement and publication, Professor Adejola holds 3 PhDs from Nigeria, United Kingdom, Turks and Caicos Island, in respective fields. Of course, he has earned also a professional doctorate degree in economics. He's a prolific author. He has over 30 books to his credit and about 75 articles in peer-reviewed local and international journals. He has also contributed strategically to knowledge by extending development of over 102 training packages designed to empower both accountants and non-accountants across the entire globe in Asia, Africa, United States, America, and in Europe. Professor Adejola has supervised the dissertations of over 70 postgraduate students, covering both, of course, PhDs and Masters of Science programs. In terms of professional competence and skill, Professor Adejola is renowned for his ability to formulate and implement strategic initiatives effectively. His strong quantitative, analytical, and problem-solving skills, coupled with high energy and hands-on approach, makes him a valuable asset in any team setting. He is recognized for his strong organizational and planning capabilities, which complement his role as a competent team player. Of course, in terms of leadership role, currently, Professor Adejola chairs the International Relations and Digital Operations Committee of Annan. Is also actively involved in initiatives. The Annan body in Nigeria is single-handedly initiated the registration of Annan branches in both United States and in Canada. He has also served as the training director for CIB USA and currently the managing consultant of White Knight Consulting in Nigeria. He's a sought-after speaker and resource person. Professor Adejola also presents regularly at international conferences. Distinguished participants, with a warm round of applause. Please help me make welcome for his keynote address and his presentation, Professor Adejola. Over to you, Professor.
Thank you very much, Associate Professor Lambe Isaac, for representing ACCSA Global as well as CIB globally. And to our distinguished participants, distinguished professors in our midst, and other professors in the making, and the administrative staff, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to bring to you the keynote address as well as the paper we have for today. I want to believe we are all enjoying our stay in Egypt, Cairo. And so far, so good. We have impact in what we have had so far from our resource person. One thing we have set as goal as an association is practicality. Our ACCSA Global main focus is bridging the digital divide in the teaching and practice of accounting, finance, and other related fields. And shortly after this keynote address, we'll go into some hands-on demonstration of artificial intelligence tools. We have a lot of them available that sometimes we say, which one do I need to use? Taking the keynote address, let me share my screen. I will make this as fast as possible. Governance in the digital era, ICT infrastructure, financial strategy, and the knowledge economy. Distinguished guests, respected academics, development partners, professionals, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is an honor and privilege to welcome you once again to this important training conference in the great and historic nation of Egypt, a civilization that has for thousands of years stood as a beacon of knowledge, governance, innovation, and strategic thinking. Today, we gather not merely to discuss governance, but to redefine it for the digital age. Setting the context, our team governance in the digital era, ICT infrastructure, financial strategy, and knowledge economy speaks directly to the realities confronting institutions across Africa and the world today. We live in a time where data has become a strategic national asset. And you heard what Huzaifa just said a couple of minutes ago, that data is now the main thing. It's the new oil, it's the new currency. Digital infrastructure is now as critical as roads, bridges, and power. Financial strategy must be informed by real-time analytics and risk intelligence. Knowledge, skills, and innovation determine competitiveness. In this era, governance that remains analog in thinking and manual in execution will struggle to survive. We can see that. Don't let me go into explain. I just want to go straight to this now. Governance is evolving. Governance in the digital era is no longer defined solely by policies and procedures. It is defined by systems, speed, transparency, resilience, and intelligence. Modern governance demands that institutions leverage ICT infrastructure to enhance service delivery. 2, use digital tools to improve accountability and reduce leakages. 3, apply data analytics and AI to strengthen financial planning and oversight. 4, invest deliberately in human capital and the knowledge economy. The question before us is not whether we should embrace digital governance, but how well and how fast we do so. ICT infrastructure, the foundation of modern governance. So ICT infrastructure is the backbone of digital governance. Without reliable connectivity, secure systems, cloud platforms, and interoperable databases, digital governance remains a slogan rather than a reality. Strong ICT infrastructure enables 1, e-government and digital public services, 2, efficient monitoring, evaluation, and reporting. Secure financial system and electronic payments. And 4, data-driven decision-making across institutions. Nations and organizations that invest strategically in ICT infrastructure position themselves for efficiency, transparency, and global relevance. Financial strategy in a digital world. Financial governance has also entered a new era. Today's financial strategy must go beyond budgeting and reporting. It must incorporate 1, predictive analytics and forecasting, automated controls and continuous auditing, real-time expenditure monitoring, AI-driven fraud detection and risk management. Digital financial strategies allow institutions to move from reactive control to proactive intelligence, from insight to foresight. The knowledge economy, as I close, people at the center. At the heart of digital governance lies the knowledge economy. Technology alone does not transform institutions. People do. It is people who make places, not places that make people. If time permits me today, when I take the practical session, I'm going to take one paper on making people your most valuable asset. In accounting, we have a course we take in some of our universities. We call it human resources accounting. What we're emphasizing here is that invest all the millions or billions of dollars or pounds or naira on machines, on this technology. If you don't have people who will work on them, you have only wasted your resources. So human beings are the most valuable asset. We invest in people so that the people we invest on can operate all this technology effectively to achieve the stated goal. Now I go to the keynote address again. The knowledge economy demands a digital skilled workforce. I love what, the person who spoke before the class governor, when he said, we are more interested in certificate. Where today we talk of upskilling. We have had experience here. I personally know some Africans here in the US, they have all the certificates, but when they go for interview here, of course, they know they are qualified or first degree, fine and good, but they are more interested in the skills because the world, I tell over and over, there are a lot of problems everywhere in families, as individual, as an institution, as nation, problems. And people are looking for problem solvers, people who can solve problems. And most of these institutions, if they have their way, they even want those who can solve problems now, immediately. They don't want to waste time training you from on how to handle their problem. So we say there should be continuous learning and upskilling. Leadership that understand technology and change, institutions that value innovation, research, and critical thinking. And we say Egypt, with its rich academic heritage and strategic role in Africa and the Middle East, is uniquely positioned to lead in this transformation. Key outcomes of this training. This conference has been designed to move beyond theory into practical capacity building. Over the course of this training, participants will explore global best practices in digital governance. Just listen to Huzaifa. Understand how ICT infrastructure supports institutional performance. Learn how AI and automation enhance financial management. Examine the link between governance reform and the knowledge economy. Then engage practical case studies and digital tools demonstrations. Our objective is clear: to equip you with insights, tools, and strategies you can immediately apply in your institutions. A call to leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, digital transformation is not primarily a technology challenge. It is a leadership challenge. It requires visionary leadership. Of course, it takes a visionary leader to even approve that the staff or members of the association go for training to equip themselves so as to meet with the current challenge in an era I personally, or we all know as era of digital revolution. Some others call it era of digital Darwinism. Then policy alignment. That's for the leadership now. Institutional courage, strategic investment, a commitment to inclusion and ethical governance. Those who lead change will shape the future. Those who delay will be shaped by it. Put in another way, you should be the one that is causing the disruption so as to avoid being disrupted. I've had people complain and complain. They say AI is taking away the jobs of people, and the correct statement should be AI is not taking away the job of people, but those who have a good mastery, who have learned how to use AI, are the one taking away the job. Because if the AI is there and we don't know how to use this AI or even give the right prompting or instruction to AI, there's no how AI will deliver or will be used maximally. I give an example here in the United States, specifically Louisiana State University. If you check online, you see they're offering some courses. I think one of them is Masters in AI prompting, artificial intelligence prompting. And what are they saying about prompting here? Just to give the right instruction, the right directive, the right command to AI. They are doing up to master's level. Closing reflection, we have commenced the training. So as this training continue, let us remember, in the digital era, governance is no longer judged by intention, but by impact, not by policy, but by performance. May this conference inspire us to govern smarter, invest wisely, lead boldly, build institutions fit for the digital age. On behalf of ACCSA Global and the board of directors, I warmly welcome you once again and wish you a productive, enlightening, and transformative training conference. Thank you. And see this, I say at ACCSA Global, we offer more than just certification. We offer a community of support, growth, and opportunity. Join us, and together we will redefine the boundaries of accounting excellence. If you are a non-accountant, again, I put it this way, there is hardly any area of human endeavor we are going to look at that does not involve accounting in one way or the other. Some of us who are not accountants, and everybody will know finance, the area of money. We can't joke with it. As a matter of fact, in management theory, they will tell us finance is the life wire of an organization, not only organization, even a human being. You have fantastic ideas, brilliant ideas that can transform our organization, that can also transform a nation. If there is no money, there's no finance to back it up, it's just a mere daydream. And one day while sleeping, I heard the voice of the Spirit of God spoke to me. I did not read this one from anywhere, from any pages or from anybody in the world. I heard directly from the Spirit of God. He said, capital is the epitome of a pool. So I have to carry my dictionary to begin to analyze capital, money, epitome, language, pool, business. Is another way to say money is the language of business. So everybody, any human being interested in money will be interested also in how to account for this money. So accounting is for everybody. Thank you for your attention. Let's go now straight to business. Let's go straight to business for today. I want us to check our platform. I've shared some documents there. The way I want to. Can they hear me? Am I clear enough there?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay.
Loud and clear.
So I want us to go to our platform. I've shared some documents there. We will be taking some practical. When the last presenter, that's Huzaifa Nakhoda, was about rounding up his paper, he talked about ChatGPT. And I'll put it this way, ChatGPT, very common everywhere, overflowed. Now, in 2023, let me start by sharing one experience with us. In 2023, to be precise, when I made up my mind to apply for permanent residency, that's green card in the United States, I knew it that it's going to be a long wait. I can't put in that application and start traveling in and out. Meanwhile, before 2023, my first time in the United States was 2010. And what was the reason I came to United States 2010? A professor saw my dissertation, my PhD, National State University, Kefi, impact of ICT investment on the performance of Nigerian banks. And when he saw this professor, he's a professor in US here, and the guy concluded that someone who have written this thesis should be able to help us write a book on computer science for colleges in the United States. So based on that, there was an exchange program between Southern University here in US and my own university back home. They did all the arrangements. So I came to the US in 2010 via J1 visa, J1. Now, to cut the long story short, I was to stay in US for 6 months, carry out research, leverage their technology, internet, study internet, and come up with that book on computer science. So 10 years, when we say 10 years before that 2020, so I've been going in and out of US. As at the last record, that 2023, that's 10 years, I've traveled in and out of US for 64 times, 64 by the record. Now, when I now decided that let me apply for green card, I know it's going to be a long wait. So I used the opportunity to now carry out a research into artificial intelligence. Ladies and gentlemen, sirs and ma'ams, within the period of 10 months that I waited for my green card to be approved and issued, minimum, I researched into 24 AI tools relevant for academics and professionals. And when I say research, it's not just, okay, this is one AI tool, ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot, Slide GPT. I'm just mentioning some of them now. I practically use real-life case studies, use this in order to see their weaknesses, the area of lapses, their lacuna, and some of these AI tools, I will even write the developers that here are the weaknesses I've noticed about this. So informed by this background and this knowledge, I discover that ChatGPT sometimes can be misleading. I organized a conference in the US here, and I gave the attendees a question that has to do with calculation analysis. I gave it to them. I said, okay, use ChatGPT to solve this problem. Honestly, when ChatGPT provided the results, all of them have different results. So that one again put me into further inquiry to search for another AI tool that can analyze data accurately, even if it's not 100% accurate, at least 90-something percent, over 90% accurate. And I discover another AI tool, which I'm going to demonstrate today by the grace of God. And I say, no wonder ChatGPT, you see the caveat there, ChatGPT makes mistake. Disclaimer. So you can't come and sue the developer of that tool. Now, what we are trying to say is, I will just put it in one language. No matter the sophistication of AI tool, the place of human brilliance and human intelligence cannot be overemphasized. As professors, ladies and gentlemen, if you ask me, very simple definition, what is artificial intelligence? I will just tell you, artificial intelligence is the application of machine in mimicking the human intelligence so that tasks that are before now performed by human beings are now performed by machine. So AI is just machine mimicking human intelligence so that tasks which are hitherto performed by human beings can now be performed by machines. And this includes prediction, description a lot. We're going to see that. So let's start. The first thing I quickly want to show us, especially for all of us from the academia and the university, as a researcher, we should be able to identify which AI tool will be relevant for this particular task I want to perform. And that one will quickly make me also share with us quick. We want to do some comparison now. See the screen. We will soon take the practical, but it's very important I just lay this foundation so we'll know. See the screen. I've come up with the basic differences between ChatGPT and Gemini. I'm not doing any demonstration today about ChatGPT. I want to believe all of us at this conference are already aware of some of this, but I am just drawing our attention to some basic differences between the two so that you know the one that best fits the task you want to perform. There's a big difference between ChatGPT and Gemini in terms of functionalities. Yesterday, we used software to store our data. Today, we use AI to find its meaning. We aren't comparing two apps. We are comparing two different ways of thinking. So, basic differences between ChatGPT and Gemini in terms of functionalities. In 2026, the gap between ChatGPT and Gemini has evolved into a platform war rather than just a chatbot competition. It's a serious one. Like another AI tool, which we may not be able to demonstrate today, they call it Scholastic. Scholastic. That's the name of that tool. And it's very, very relevant for purpose of research. When the developer of this Scholastic started doing their marketing, doing the marketing, okay, there is another one called AITHOR, A-I-THOR, A-I-T-H-O-R, AITHOR.com. When they started making the publicity, they will tell you, forget ChatGPT. There is another AI tool now that will humanize whatever content. That is, you use it for purpose of research, it will bring out the content as if they were humanly generated, not AI generated. So I'm drawing our attention to the platform war. One developer wants to outsmart another. And that's why today, at least from the list, when I check the record of the research now up to date, we have more than 40 AI tools. So somebody look, we are even confused now. Which one do we use? While both are multimodal powerhouses, they serve different philosophies. ChatGPT focuses on being a polished, creative thinking partner, while Gemini has leaned into being a high-speed, integrated productivity engine. Here is the breakdown of their functional differences. See, ecosystem and integration. I'll make it this fast. Feature, primary hub for ChatGPT, stand alone web mobile app. Gemini integrated into Google Workspace, Docs, Gmail, Drive. Then app ecosystem, custom GPTs, a massive marketplace of user-created but for specific task extensions, native connections to Google Maps, YouTube, flights, and hotels. That's for Gemini. Workflow, ChatGPT is best for copy-paste workflows or using a dedicated desktop app. Gemini native workflows can draft an email in Gmail or a table in Sheets directly. Then core strength and use case, ChatGPT still reigns supreme in creative writing. Can you see ChatGPT? Storytelling and nuanced conversation. It is often cited as feeling more human and less rigid. Then Gemini 3 Pro dominates in research. That's the area we are going now. Dominates in research and data processing because it is connected to Google search. Its real-time info retrieval is often faster and more structured. It is also the go-to for summarizing massive files like 500-page PDFs or hour-long videos. That is to say, Gemini has also been empowered or programmed. You can go download a video from YouTube and you ask Gemini to summarize the content. It means you don't need to sit down for hours watching that video. Gemini has been programmed to do that. Technical capabilities. Context window, Gemini 3 Pro supports up to 1 million plus tokens. That is allowing you to upload entire code bases or 1-hour videos. Can you see that? ChatGPT's context is large but generally smaller, focusing more on the immediate quality of the dialogue. Multimodality, Gemini natively multimodal from the start. It can watch a YouTube video and give you a time-stamped summary or hear an audio file and find specific quotes. Can you see that? ChatGPT uses specialized subsystems like Delhi for images and Sora Search for video web. Coding, ChatGPT is often preferred for debugging and learning, while Gemini is favored for generating snippets and cloud-related development. I will conclude now. Media generation, images, Gemini uses the Nano Banana model, which allows for 4K resolution and brush to edit features. ChatGPT uses the E.E, which is praised for higher artistic creativity. The video I've explained that. Which one should you use? That's the question. Choose ChatGPT if you want a creative collaborator, a tutor who explains concepts deeply, or if you want to build your own mini AI bots, custom GPTs. Choose Gemini if you live in Google Workspace, need to analyze massive documents and videos, or want the fastest real-time info from the web. Closing insight, the goal isn't to find the perfect AI, but to find the one that removes the most friction between your ideas and your results. The future doesn't belong to the AI with the most features, but to the person who knows which feature to use when. I leave us with this one. Now, I will also give us this experience. I collected data of a company. Is it 42 companies? And it has to do with cross-sectional analysis. And after collecting this data for 10 years, these are real life data now. Now we know in management sciences, we have two popular statistical tools when it comes to data analysis and interpretation. One is Stata and one is eViews. So the data collected, I gave it to ChatGPT to analyze the data and interpret. Honestly, ChatGPT was honest. And he replied me and said, I have not been programmed for this. So it's one of the reasons I say further research. Okay, which AI tool have been programmed that will help you analyze data in conformity with either Stata or eViews or even SPSS. So I used Gemini. I consulted Gemini, give the same data to Gemini. I did not ask Gemini to just analyze the data collected. I say analyze it in the same way Stata or eViews will analyze it. And honestly, Gemini gave me that solution. So this morning, let's get our laptops and launch our browser. Let's launch our browser. We're in the practical session now. If you have checked our platform, you will see case study, then you will see one Excel file. We want to use Gemini first this morning to help us predict, because in data analytics, they will tell us number one, we have what is called descriptive analytics. We have what is called diagnostic analytics. We have what is called prescriptive analytics. Then we have what is called predictive analytics. In descriptive analytics, you say you describe your situation. Maybe as an institution, this is the challenges we have. Or even as an individual, you are feeling funny in your body. You meet the doctor, you describe your situation. This is how I'm feeling. Then the next thing will be diagnostic. The doctor will carry out diagnosis and say, okay, this is what is actually wrong. Then immediately after that one, we have what's called prescription. You will now prescribe. And when you prescribe, it will now tell you, if you did not follow this prescription, then it will predict what will happen next. AI also has been programmed for this. But today we are focusing on predictive analytics. Prediction in the sense that you have data about the past. When you now have data about the past, AI should be able to assist us in predicting what is expected in the future. In those days, 1999, let me put in 1999 specifically, I was in UBA PLC as their staff in Garki, Area 3 there. When bankers want to leave old generation bank to the new generation, that's when we have all these new banks coming up, like Diamond Bank and Standard Trust Bank, the rest. The language then was, why are you leaving certainty for uncertainty? Because nobody knew then. They're just watching. People are not sure that those new generation banks will stand the test of time. But after some years, when everybody realized that these banks has come to stay, when a banker wants to now leave the old generation to the new generation, they will say, why are you taking the risk? So prediction comes from the fact that you have your data from the past, and that data will be used to predict the future. So let's launch our browser. As I'm saying it, let me do that also. Okay, just launch your browser. I will tell us what to do with that. The first thing I'll bring up first is our case study. I'm sure we'll have it both in in Word document and PDF. Let's see the question we are taking first. Then I will share another AI tool with us. From my screen, practical case study question for demonstration. Case study 1, predictive budget, forecasting and expenditure tracking using machine learning. You are a finance officer in a government ministry. You have 20 years of historical budgets and expenditure data stored in an Excel file. The data set contains the following columns. See the columns here: year, budget allocation, personnel costs, capital projects, overheads, actual expenditure, inflation rates, GDP growth rates. Your task is to use an AI as machine learning tool, such as Gemini, to answer the following question, just to answer the following. Main task. Let's see that now. Using the historical data provided, 1, predict the expected expenditure for the next fiscal year, that's year 21, across personnel costs, capital projects, overheads, total expenditure. Number 2, identify budget categories that are at risk of overspending by comparing predicted expenditure with proposed budget allocation for year 21. Number 3, show how the AI model can dynamically adjust the budget mid-year if inflation increases by 2% or revenue drops by 5% from the projected amount. 4, for capital projects, predict which projects are likely to exceed allocated funds. Then whether cash flow should be reallocated to avoid project delays. This is the question we have. Ladies and gentlemen, when we are in class, it's something of by privilege. I joined Nasarawa State University, Kefi, 2003. So I've been teaching this. When you want to predict, you want to make prediction, one of the tools we use, we say linear programming, linear programming or linear regression. And when you use linear regression, you see all these long formulas. But AI is saying, maximize the use of your time. Don't rack your brain memorizing all these formulas. I will simplify. Your own should be analysis and interpretation and implementation as well. So if we want to use the formula method, of course, we have formula, we have the high and low method. You have year 1, you have year 20. So you can do the calculation for the year 21. But what we're going to do here using Gemini, if you have launched your browser, I'm using Firefox. I don't know the browser you have here. I'm going to share that. It is also advisable let's even open that data collected. Let's see how the data. So we will not just, okay, I've opened the data in Excel file. See the data collected here from that question. We have the year, budget allocation, personnel costs, capital project, overheads, actual expenditure, inflation rate, GDP growth rates. So that's the data collected. And when you look at year, it started from 2005 to 2024. And now we want to use AI tool called Gemini to predict what these figures will be for 2025 or year 21. Year 21. What we're going to do, see my browser, File Explorer. Okay. See it, I have Mozilla Firefox. So let's go now. You should type here, if you have launched your browser, just type Gemini. See, I want to believe we are seeing the screen. Gemini.google.com. Gemini.google.com. Then we press enter. If you can see my screen very well from afar, he's asking, hi, Professor Adejola, where should we start? Asking the question. It's a good one. I will draw our attention. There are a lot of features. If we also have time, I'm still going to go back to that ChatGPT that has been overflowed to draw our attention to some features of that ChatGPT that people have not really explored. Some people will just go type letter, do this. No, there are features in ChatGPT that many of us are not aware of. How we draw our attention to that so that we can maximally use those features. Now I have here Gemini.google.com. The next thing we're going to do, please watch, add files. See this plus here, add files. I will click on this. I will click on add file. See, upload files. I'll click on upload. I want to go and upload the document I have saved, because I expect us by now that we have saved those documents. If you have it on your, okay, I've shared it on the platform, you can download and copy to your desktop. So I'll go to my desktop. I want to pick it, Egypt conference, papers, see it, predictive modeling sample budget. I've uploaded. See what I just did. Once you click on this plus upload file, it will take you to where you have saved the particular document. Click on it, then click open. So after uploading, we are going somewhere. There is something I want us to also verify. It's not just using the AI to solve problem. Now I've successfully uploaded the case study. That's the data collected and rest of a budget. I will go back to the question now. That same question in Word document. Main task. Say using the historical data provided, predict the expected expenditure for the next fiscal year. That's year 21 across personnel costs. Now, if I decide to just copy all these tasks at once, of course, Gemini will still solve them, but sometimes the solution may not be depth enough. So the advice is, if you want to use Gemini to solve a problem of this nature, you can pick them one after the other. So I'm highlighting from using the historical data provided, predict the expected expenditure for the next fiscal year in bracket year 21 across personnel costs, capital projects, overheads, total expenditure. That's the only one I will copy for now. Once I do that, see what I'm doing now? I've pasted. I just pasted. I'm reading. Using the historical data provided, predict the expected expenditure for the next fiscal year 21 across. See one other language. This is where prompting, very important. See what I'm doing now. Using the attached, I will now type attached. So using the attached historical data provided, predict the expected expenditure for the next fiscal year. Then I submit. Once you do this, you can either press enter or come to this place and type and submit. Let's watch now. As soon as I do this, the analysis have started. Let's watch. I'm not touching anything, analysis. We want to give us the result for year 21. See that? See that now? Based on the historical data provided 2005 to 2024, here is the predictive analysis for the fiscal year 21, which is the same thing as 2025. Methodology. Gemini is telling us this is the methodology adopted. The data shows a clear acceleration in expenditure growth over the last 5 years. Predicted expenditure for year 2025. Personnel cost. See what we have here. Personnel cost for 2025. See what it has given, 1.9. Capital project is overhead, total expenditure with trend basis. Then there is opportunity for us to copy the table. If you want to copy this table, just come here and click on copy. Then you go and paste in your Microsoft Word or Word document where you want to analyze. But see where I'm going, maybe it will be another area, this part of still research we are doing. We are researchers, professors. Now I want us to see this caveat, this Gemini is AI and can make mistakes. I want you to compare your own results with what is on the screen. For personnel costs, do you have the same amount as you are seeing on the screen? For capital projects, check what you have. For overhead, check what you have. And for total expenditure, check your figure. And let's see if we all have. Okay, let's put it this way. Anyone having a contrary figure, please, let's indicate. Let's see now.
No, look at the personnel cost, capital cost. Okay. How many are the same? Prof, I'm reporting what we have here. For example, from the conference governor. In personnel cost, what's your figure? Okay. What's your figure for personnel cost? Okay, he said his own personnel cost is the same. Capital project. Capital project is not the same.
Give me the figure for his capital project, please.
1,400,000 USD.
1,400,000 is his own figure for capital project. Yes.
Okay.
Why yours is 1.3, but his is
Next
1.4.
person, overheads.
Overhead.
It's not the same.
Okay, the overhead is.
I have 525,000 USD.
His own overhead is 525, variation of about 7 million.
Then the total expenditure.
The total.
So it's the same.
Total expenditure is the same.
4 million.
Yes.
Now
personnel cost and total is the same.
All right. So here we go now. Very interesting. As researchers or as a researcher, what is our comment? What can we now say about the use of AI? I don't want to do my own conclusion. You know, earlier I've told us that no matter the sophistication and effectiveness of any AI tool, the place of human brilliance and intelligence cannot be overemphasized. And I also read here, Gemini is AI and can make mistakes. So what I want to see our comment about, and the comment should focus on reliability on AI.
Please, do you have
How
any
much
comments?
can we rely?
We must always cross-check. Okay, please, if you don't mind, you just yes. So one comment is coming through, Prof. Just one.
Go ahead, sir.
Sorry, we have to. Yeah, thank you, sir. So it just shows that we must always cross-check.
Perfect. Perfect. Now, what? Okay, we must always cross-check. We should not rely on AI 100%. That's just the answer. AI is there to just support us. Go ahead.
Prof, somebody wants to see the narrative before this figures. Yes.
Okay, the narrative.
Yes,
Which one?
we just go up a little. We just go up a little. Methodology. Have you seen?
No.
See, I won't be surprised if your own solution is not the same. Generally, let me put it this way: ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot. I'm just giving you some other one in this category. They are plagiarism sensitive. When you settle down later, give the same question to Gemini to solve again. It may not give you the solution. I'm talking of even arrangement now. It may not give you in this form that I'm having it, that tabulated. Some other time, it may just decide to calculate personnel cost, separate, calculate by capital project, calculate overhead. Well, the summary is...
The class governor has a question. It's coming
okay.
Sorry, folks. Just so that we can.
Sorry, Prof. I noticed something which is which I think what you were trying to highlight from the beginning that makes the difference. In my own, which I actually have, the trend-based predictive model is used. While on your own, it is a linear regression model.
Correct.
So this actually makes the differences.
Thank you for that
in
observation.
My own, which actually I have before me, it is the trend-based predictive model that is used.
Okay.
While in your own case, it is the linear regression model.
Now good.
And again, sorry, I would like to ask a question.
Go ahead, sir.
The Gemini that we use, which actually takes us to this, the fact that you have in your own case you have the linear regression model. I just want to ask a question that what if, for instance, can the Gemini also use a non-linear regression model to predict? That's a question.
Just like you have in your own, right?
No, mine is a trend-based predictive model, which is
correct,
which is also a linear model.
Very, very good question. The way Gemini has been programmed is this. It allows you to specify if this question, I wasn't specific here in this my instruction. I just say using the entire historical data provided predict. But if you have a predictive tool in mind you want Gemini to use, you will not specify. I will not say using acronym.
Non-linear.
Yes, you will now you can now change your instruction using the attached historical data provided.
No, it's okay, sir. It's okay, Prof.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Now,
understood.
all right.
Yeah, we can specify the non-linear side.
Yes,
to see if
exactly.
If it can give a different result.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it will. It will. Let me see. Let's take number 2 now. I'm highlighting number 2. The second question says, identify budget categories that are at risk of overspending by comparing predicted expenditure with proposed budget allocation for year 21. I will say this again. For those of us in management sciences or even in engineering, if you have your data, you've collected your data and you want Gemini to analyze, and you have a specific statistical tool in mind. I just give example, Stata, eViews, maybe SPSS. All you just need to do is give the instruction, analyze this data collected in conformity with Stata or which one you want, just specify. It will analyze it according to the statistical tool you want it to use in analyzing. So this one is saying identify budget categories that are at risk of overspending by comparing predicted expenditure with proposed budget allocation. Then I will submit. Let's see budget categories that are at risk of overspending. Gemini is taking time today, usually very fast speed. When you see the spinning.
Somebody else's own is up already.
I know. I know people have result. Even my own system, maybe the brain, the memory. Okay, to identify the budget categories at risk of overspending for year 21, we compare the predicted expenditure against the proposed budget allocation. See, growth rate comparison now. Can you see what Gemini has done? A primary indicator of risk is when the category's expenditure growth rate exceeds the growth rate of the total budget. Capital project predicted growth rate 6.1, 15%. Total budget growth rate 5%. Can you see the status? High risk. Then personnel cost is a moderate risk. Overhead cost, low risk. And the last one is a marginal risk. Then there's also provision here to copy the table. Once you click on this, copy table, go and paste. Variance analysis. If we assume year 21 budget allocation is distributed based on the same percentage shares as the previous year, we can calculate the expected variance. See variance here. Personnel cost, we have proposed, we have predicted risk of overspend. He has given us the difference and so on. Because of time, I will leave us to complete that case study. I want to do a different thing, except we have questions about this Gemini. But the reality is this. Gemini, that's why I took that paper first to compare ChatGPT and Gemini. Gemini has been programmed to handle cases of research and data analysis. Without wasting time, I will go back to the one that is popular. I want to believe every one of us here. Please, if you have not used ChatGPT before.
Sorry, Prof. Prof.
Okay.
Sorry, there are two questions on this. Let them contribute. They are following. We are following rapidly. And Prof, please, we are giving you enough a little bit more time. We'll make adjustment. But this is a very important highlight. So let the two participants come with their questions, sir.
Excuse me.
I think mine is straightforward. I think I had the same question, the same response after the first question. I had the same response with you in terms of predicted personnel costs and all others. And I copied the same question and pasted as a follow-up, and you also did similar as a follow-up. But I could see my result is substantially different. For instance, I think in my case, the personnel cost is high risk, and yours seems to be moderate.
Personnel costs, moderate risk.
Yeah, mine is high. So I just don't know what leads to this, because I copied it. We had the same initial answer. I copied the same to you, also did the same thing, but we're having different.
Check your own. That first one, let's quickly check something. Did your own use a linear regression model as well?
What model? Yes, initially it uses linear.
But for this particular one, which actually he wants to confirm.
Confirm whether it's a linear regression model used. But why we are even saying
linear progression, not regression. It used linear progression, not regression.
Now, when we settle down now, since I made a statement, I said these AI tools are plagiarism sensitive. In order for us to narrow our scope, it's a good one we are taking this exercise. If you want to use Gemini for this same question, and you know that you can predict the future as a result of from the data collected in the past, and you have different ways different methods, you are now to specify. So if you go back now and say, see what I will come here, using the attached historical data provided, predict the expected expenditure using linear regression. If you specify that linear regression, the Gemini will not be picking at random, different. Okay, it's just telling you, let me tell you why we're having different, if at all we're having different figure. When you just give a vague question, okay, predict the future, it will, your same system now, if you give your Gemini back the same question again, it may go and use another method. And it's just like we have high and low method, the linear regression method, the formula method, different. What we are now going to do as a researcher is for us to specify where there are various ways to solve a problem. Which one do you want the AI to use? We specify. That would be a reason for the variation we are having. Why we cannot question this, when we can question this is when you say regression, maybe all of you in the hall, you say, okay, use linear regression, then we have different answers. Then we can put the accuracy of Gemini into question, can question the accuracy. But I will now leave us with a word again. Generally in statistics, we do approximation. Some other time you will see somebody can have 1,382,000. We can approximate when we say in thousands, we just round it off to 1,380,000. So it doesn't mean those things are correct. But what I'm just trying to draw attention today is once you want to use Gemini in data analytics and you know the particular question you want to solve have different methods, you specify, use this particular method for the analysis. The next question, please.
That's good. Okay, it's coming through.
Sorry, Prof. I think I have, shall I say, a contribution.
Go ahead.
To my understanding and in my opinion, isn't what, I mean, the specification and what you wanted. I would have suggested something. Maybe I think what we should do, let the Gemini give one what is best suited for the data. Maybe by the time I think when one asks that question, for the Gemini to select the best modeling techniques based on the data you have given, the Gemini will now suggest that. Then after the suggestion, one will now take the modeling techniques, which will actually, then to work with. Why I'm saying this is that all modeling techniques have assumptions, just like what Professor Paul now said. That's what he's saying, that the issue of, I think was it, he said, it's not directly the assumption that he said, but he mentioned something. But since we have assumptions for each and every modeling techniques, then the data should speak for itself. When the data speaks for itself, then you can now see that since the data have spoken for itself by saying that this is what best suited for me, taking into account of the assumption of all, each descriptive sites, then you now say that, okay, this is what actually I want to run this model. I think, Prof, sir, I think this will help in reducing issues that, the issue of errors that are associated with the modeling techniques itself. Because at the end of the day, you run a linear regression model, for instance, even the linear regression model that is displayed on your own, there are also limitations to the linear regression modeling techniques.
Correct.
Which you know them. So if, for instance, the data did not behave, and then at the end of the day, regression is used, you ended up producing a spurious result, that the result is not going to be suitable for policy recommendation. But by the time you ask the data speaks for itself, that this is what actually I think, based on the assumptions, this should be. I think, Prof, we are good to go in that direction.
Well, this is a very, very insightful contribution. As you are saying
Yes,
it,
sir.
I'm already typing that one. See, from that important contribution, see what I did. As you are saying it, I just, what is the best modeling technique to predict the data? I gave
Yes,
that.
sir.
So that means you have uploaded it. Of course, you can't just ask Gemini what is the best model without uploading the data first. You have to even upload the data and specify what you want to do, that you want to predict.
Yes.
So see what he gave me the moment I said what is the best model. For this data set, see something, the best modeling technique to predict future expenditure, polynomial regression, in bracket degree 2. It's not even making comparison. See something. While a simple linear regression provides a strong general trend, the historical data shows accelerating growth, meaning the expenditure isn't just increasing by the same flat amount every year. The rate of increase is self-increasing. It's not comparing. It's also comparing the model. See some simple linear regression, multilinear regression, polynomial regression. Just to answer.
Sorry, Prof, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
If you go back to the descriptive side, just move up a bit.
Move up.
Yeah, no.
I should go this way.
No, the scatter diagram there.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, this one.
Yes.
Look at the points above and below, the negative side and the positive sides.
Yeah, I've seen that.
So this what calls for negation of the linear regression that it was used earlier.
No, see, the question, I just answered that question I gave those questions, the question to Gemini, the way it is in the case study. There's no provision.
Yes, sir.
And that's why somebody said his own is linear, another person a different model. But with the variation in answer, your contribution, very insightful, that once you have your data ready, you upload it, you first tell Gemini, this is what you want to do. Sometimes it may not be predictive analytics. It may be diagnostic analytics. It may be descriptive analytics, depending on what you want to do. Then once you tell Gemini, this is what I want to do with this data I've uploaded, suggest the best model for it. Once it now suggests, based on that, that is you now independent. But again, if one is writing an article and in that article you are writing, you have your data and the article have specified that a particular model should be used, of course. As you are giving that instruction to Gemini, you specify the exact model. It's very flexible. Very flexible. Thank you. Any other? All right. Let's quickly see something. I asked a question earlier. Do we have anybody in the house who have not used ChatGPT before? Every one of us have used ChatGPT. All right. I quickly want to draw our attention. Sometimes you may be too busy. You may be too busy. This provision also in ChatGPT that you don't even want to type. The nature of human being. We want what we want, where we want it, how we want it, and when we want it. There's provision here. You can use mic. Just speak to Gemini. The instruction, just speak. As you are saying it, we will type it. You see it in text. The same. Then enter. You get the result. But where we are going, very quick one. Don't launch a new browser. Just open a new tab. When you open a new tab, see what I'm doing, chatgpt.com. For this ChatGPT, I only want to show us some other features that we can explore when we have time. My own is a paid version, my own ChatGPT 5.2. I pay a monthly subscription. So I won't be surprised if you don't have the feature. But there is a feature in ChatGPT, as you can see me on my cursor here. Explore GPTs. Let me delete this one first. Hide, keep in sidebar. Okay, let me hide it. Canva, I can hide this. So, see GPTs. I don't know if you have this on your own ChatGPT. But what I'm trying to say is when you settle down, I click on these GPTs, watch. Aside the normal text you are seeing that, okay, write a letter for me or draft a memo or prepare a report and as well maybe upload. There are several features from that paper I presented when I differentiated between ChatGPT and Gemini. See some other feature here. With ChatGPT, see video AI, you can do this, Expedia, Canva to design flyers and the rest. Scholar AI, see Scholar GPT, image generator, consensus, AI humanizer, write for me, a personality experiment Monday, dial in, data analyst, drop in any data and I can help analyze and visualize your data. If you have time, when you want to explore this other feature of ChatGPT, data analyst, utmost, creative writing, see them. AI humanizer, song making GPT, there are a lot of them, presentation. And I will still tell us this, that initially when ChatGPT was published, some of these features were not there. But the developers, they don't sleep because they are competitors. They are now saying, instead of them to now lose those who are following them or those who are using ChatGPT to the new ones coming up, let us also come up with other features so that ChatGPT will now be one bus stop station, one bus stop station. You don't need another one. Research and analysis, can you see ChatGPT have all these features? As a matter of fact, I've used a feature here, website design, to design a website. But of course, it won't be like the websites that people will want to customize. For that feature, it will just ask you, what is the name of your company? Provide the address, provide the contact number, your vision, your mission statement, and whatever content. Once you provide it, press enter or submit. Within few minutes or seconds, it will develop a website for you. So there are a lot of things loaded in this ChatGPT. And the last thing about this ChatGPT, I also want us to see, if you look at there is new chat. There is a way you can, if I go new, click on new chat, we know all those ones. Search, you want to search. Maybe you have used ChatGPT some time ago and you can't remember what was used to save your task. You can search. If you can remember part of the content, just type to bring it out. Images, apps, codecs, leave those ones. New projects. This is what I advise both academia and professional. Each time we are using ChatGPT, and those of us, maybe you are also a consultant and you have the record of your client. You click new projects, type the name, whatever name, and once you type, you create project. That's why I'm having here under this project. See, content for social media, Adebayo PLC, White Knight University, Dr. Awe Agboluga. So that anytime you now want to perform any task for any client or your research work or projects, as the case may be, you just come and pick. If I pick Adebayo PLC now, it will bring out everything about Adebayo PLC is stored in this folder. That is that. The last thing we'll see before I now take an overview, it's good we'll take this practical, is another AI tool that will be relevant, very relevant for some of us, when time is a limiting factor. They just call you, come and share your thoughts with staff or a group of people. They can just call you, come and share your thoughts, and you don't have enough time to be doing PowerPoints, the PowerPoint that you design to, you customize the way you want it. But then you want to give credibility to your work. There is an AI tool that is called Slides. See it here? Just type once you open a new tab. See what I'm typing? Slides GPT. Slidesgpt.com. Watch. Slidesgpt.com. Create stunning PowerPoint presentation with AI in seconds. Say, turn your ideas into professional presentation with Slides GPT. Can you see that? Just call you, come and help us present a paper. You already have your topic. Can somebody help us with any topic there? Any topic of your choice?
Okay. Let's come on. Smart use of AI in academic research.
Okay. Smart use of AI in academic research.
Smart
use of AI.
AI. Huh?
Yes, sir. In academic research. Can we add smart and ethical use?
Okay. Smart
and ethical use. Ethical use. All right. Perfect.
All right. See, you have this topic, you have been called upon, come and speak to a group of people, and time is a limiting factor. With this AI tool, see what I'm doing here? You type it. If you type, see my cursor, I will just say, create slide. Watch, I'll click on that. Then you watch. You know the first thing this AI tool have done for me is to suggest outline in less than 2 seconds. Huh? Title, Smart and Ethical Use of AI in Academic Research. See, Introduction, Foundations, and that's Introduction, Context and Importance of AI in Research, Foundations, AI Technology Relevant to Academia, 3, ethical frameworks and principles, responsible data handling and bias mitigation, best practices for AI integration in research workflow, governance oversight and institutional policies, case studies and lessons learned, in conclusion and future direction. SAS and MAS, professors and the administrators in our midst. ACCSA Global is currently organizing a certification course. We started last Saturday, certification course in artificial intelligence applications for professionals and top executives. It runs 2 hours every Saturday for 1 month. I know you may not meet up with this one. We are going to repeat. It will be the stream 3. We'll announce that later. This is where we explore more. Minimum at the end of that certification course, minimum of 10 AI tools, not just to do this one we are rushing. For example, if you look at this now, if you look at this outline and you feel the outline did not really address some things that is very germane to this paper, there is provision for you to edit. You come here, edit outline, but we are not doing any editing because of time. You click edit outline, then you remove the one you don't want here, and you add the one you want to add. This has the provision. Then you can see design, title, use your brand. If you have particular design in use, you can select. But by default, it has selected this particular design. If you want to change, you can change. But we are not doing that for now. What I will do, watch next, show slide. I click on it and watch. You say generating title slide. If you look at the right to your right here, generating title slide. Now see the slides. Smart and ethical use of AI in academic research. Agenda. See the agenda. That means we are satisfied with the outlines given, and see, it's developing. Introduction, context, and importance of AI. Can you see? Foundations. Framework and principles, and so on. This has been created. Everything. Practice. I'm just scrolling now. I want to go to the last item, the last page. Conclusion and future direction. Now, with this, there is also provision. If you look at this also, conclusion and future direction, you will notice we work with the outline generated by Slide GPT. If you want to now introduce additional slides, even after generating this, there is provision to introduce additional slides. For example, you may say you want to include case studies because the original one generated by this AI tool, there's nothing like case studies there, but you want to add. So you can see add slide. You can add slide to it and introduce the content. I think the next thing we now need, after doing all this, maybe you are satisfied with what a Slide GPT has given you. The next thing you need, there are 2 things: download, share. If I click on download, I want to download the slide. Watch. Even in Freetown, there is no free meal. So when you want to download now, it will ask you, see, you will pay $7.49 per month, 10 downloads. After you download 10 documents, your money expire. Then 22 points per month for 50 downloads. You want to buy if you click. But what I now advise, since it's an emergency, you need to quickly go and do your presentation. Instead of download, you don't want to pay, you can do share. Once you share, it will copy, of course, automatically copied. I don't know if you are seeing my screen.
We can see it.
So you can copy this share now, this link, go and paste it on another browser, it will now give you exactly the same slide, which you can use for your presentation. But if your desire is to download and now fine-tune the slide to suit your own requirement, you have to pay. Any question? I think we'll stop here. I've spent almost all the time.
Yes. You have any question?
No.
No. You copy the link. The link.
You copy the link, then
The link
open
and put it on another browser.
or you click a new tab and paste it and press enter.
Yes. To give you the same site.
That means you can now you are presenting directly.
Save it locally.
There's only the link you can save.
Okay.
Except you pay. Yes. A question. No. Okay, speak very loud. Maybe you can hear from them. Prof, I don't know if you can hear a question being asked.
Let's go ahead. I didn't get that.
Okay, maybe you should ask it. No problem. Okay.
Well done, Prof. Yes, sir. I noticed something in the slides displayed by the slide GPT.
Okay.
That most of the slides, one have to actually fine-tune that, just like what you said, because it is more of, instead of PowerPoints, it becomes lecture. How would I call it? Lecture what?
Lecture notes.
It is more of lecture notes than PowerPoints. So one needs, just like what you said earlier, to suit his own presentation, one needs to do that. There is need for one to go through it and then see where actually he will come in. But if one is just to download and then go ahead to think of presenting, if you are giving 5 minutes or 10 minutes, you ended up spending 20 minutes because you are reading in between that. So one is to absorb it first and then summarize, make it PowerPoint and not lecture notes, I think. This is, again, what I think. Fine-tuning what you said earlier will be better.
All right.
Thank you.
Now go this. All right. Finally, we are now going back to just 5 minutes. 5 minutes. I will do a conclusion. Do I still have 5 minutes, right? Or
yes, you do. You do, Prof. Please go ahead. You do.
All right. It's like it's in 3 in 1 or 4 in 1. I'm even doing now. No problem. Now, I just want to draw our attention to the main topic from our program of event. This is the topic. I'm going to share this slide. There won't be any need to be reading this, but I'm going to share artificial intelligence and automation in financial management and public administration. There is a slide for that, which I started with the practical first, which I feel is more important. We can all read this theory at our leisure time. In the paper, we look at introduction, why AI is transforming governance and finance. We look at global trends and urgency for adoption. Then we look at the public sector digital shift. Then the learning objective, we look at that. Understanding artificial intelligence, technology system designed to perform tasks that typically require human intelligence. That's another way to define it. The capabilities, we say prediction, classification, pattern detection, natural language processing, types of AI, narrow AI, machine learning, deep learning, and we say understanding automation, technology-driven execution of repetitive tasks and processes with minimal human intervention. We have the robotic process automation, intelligent automation, workflow automation. And there why automation matters in public sector finance. Reduce manual errors, accelerate processing, improves compliance, particularly if the AI is drawing from correct data, because that's another challenge of these AI tools. They feed on the data available about a country or about an organization on the internet. Now, a couple of years ago, no, I think it's the same 2023, that I asked ChatGPT a question. ChatGPT replied that the scope did not cover that year. That is what has been programmed in ChatGPT. So it doesn't have data for that particular year I needed to use them. There was a global trends in AI for public sector, rise of digital government, predictive analytics adoption, global case system, examples rather, AI-driven service delivery, AI in financial management, that's the various area we can apply artificial intelligence, budget planning and forecasting, fraud detection, revenue collection, expenditure control and audit readiness. With AI, we can even do a lot of things, reconciliation. Instead of using formula or going to buy a new software that will help you reconcile. Like somebody have talked to me before, can we reconcile these excesses bank charges using AI? Nobody asked that question. I said, all we just need, let us have the government policies or even the bank policies of what has been legally documented as charges. If I have that one, then the next thing, let me have your bank statement. Once I have those two documents, we can import it into the relevant AI tool and we now compare and contrast. They've charged you for this bank transaction, but there is no law or there is no policy that says you should be charged. At the end of the day, this thing will be summarized. Automation in financial processes, automating payroll, automating vendor verification, automating procurement processes, real-time financial report. Then we have intelligent financial forecasting, use of machine learning models. It can be used, of course, in intelligent financial forecasting, detecting financial anomalies, just telling us area, scenario planning, dashboard-driven decision making. These are various areas. AI in public administration, we can apply it overview, say digital public service delivery, citizen engagement tools, administrative process automation, AI-enabled decision support system. Then we have case studies, AI for service delivery, chatbot for citizen inquiries. That is, you want to know. There are some countries you will travel to at the airport. You just see a particular person seated there. You want to make inquiry about the country or where to get what. We have chatbot that will direct and give you that information, or you just see on the screen there. Automated permit approval system, intelligent complaint resolution, digital identity verification. There are another case study in public sector auditing. We will share all this. AI in fraud detection and compliance, detecting irregular spending, vendor fraud analytics, procurement integrity checks, payment anomaly detection, and workflow automation. I'm just explaining that. Benefits of AI in public finance and administration, efficiency and speed, transparency and reduce corruption, accuracy and data-driven decisions, improve compliance, cost savings. Challenges in AI and automation adoption, digital skills gaps. That's one of the reasons they say learning is a continuous process. As a matter of fact, they will tell us the illiterate of the 21st century is not one who cannot read or write, but one who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. So where there are digital skills gap, we need to bridge that gap. Skills, data quality issues, infrastructure limitations, resistance to change, high initial cost, trust, ethics, and privacy concern. These ethics, universities should draw AI ethics. They should come up with AI policy, AI ethics. How much of AI students are permitted to use? Yesterday, one of my children in secondary school came home with a paper from his school. It's in high school. We call it high school here in the US. And there is a portion for him to sign, and there's a portion for me to sign. I have to read the document line by line and interpret it to him. Like they want to expose or they are even seeking the permission of parents, whether they should allow them to use Copilot. That's another AI tool called Copilot. And they now put the condition policies there. Number one, he will not put the name of any of his colleagues. He will not use it for any other reason other than for further studies. Number three, whenever he is given assignment and he used that co-pilot for the assignment, referencing, the same way we reference authors, you will reference that I have used this so AI tool. That is some of the politics we just need. We can't stop it. So it's just the policy. And during this training, I just mentioned briefly, our African rep, Associate Professor Lambert, will give us more details on how we can connect. Because during this training, this 1 month training, we will see some AI tools that lecturers can use to even detect how many percentage of AI content their students have used for assignments if they have that time to do that. But that one will require the student to submit the soft copy. We can just forward, you check. Time is really ethical and governance consideration, data protection and privacy, algorithm bias, transparency and accountability, responsible AI frameworks, public trust and legitimacy. Cyber security issues are also there. AI security threats, protecting financial data. Sorry, I have to rush all this slide. Strategies for successful adoption, build digital skills and staff capacity. Very, very important. Number two, modernize ICT infrastructure. 3, strengthen data governance. 4, invest in secure cloud solution. 5, pilot projects before scaling. 6, establish AI adoption policies. Change management for AI integration. We say communicating reform benefits, managing resistance, reskilling and upskilling employees, leadership support, and policy alignment. Implementation roadmap. There's nothing that says we must follow this implementation roadmap. It's just a guide. Short-term actions, 6 months, 0 to 6 months. Medium-term action, 6 to 18. Long-term actions, 18 to 36 months. Then key performance indicators, KPIs. We have case example from Africa, Rwanda, Kenya, Nigeria. And the lesson learned, we are going to see that when I share this slide later, either in our group platform or to our various email. Tools and technologies to explore AI platform, see some of them, Microsoft, Google, OpenAI, RPA tools, data analytics, Tableau, Power BI, audit analytics, IDEA, ACL. Group activity and discussion. Then conclusion, AI is a necessity, not an option. Responsible automation drives efficiency. Strong leadership is key to success. The future of public finance is digital. Thank you once again, sirs and ma'am, for your attention. Sorry for taking your time. I'm rushing too many things.
Please, can we give Prof a big round? The applause here is quite resounding. But even though we're pressed with time, but I still want to ask maybe any final question anyone has. The good thing is that Prof is still back with us tomorrow. So I think we can anchor it here. Huzaifa will be here tomorrow, and then virtually. Prof is also back virtually. So thank you very much, Prof. Again, always a very, very good delight. The room is well stirred up and cheered up. Thank you very much. We don't know if you have any comments before we
see us tomorrow by God's grace. Okay. But remember, there's another PhD researcher from the US here that will take down my paper, but after his own paper, I will come in.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Yes. So I'm sure you send me his details. All right. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, sir.
Prof. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much, sir. Have a wonderful
day.
Thank you. All right. So thank you.